Hello, my name is LoG and welcome to Quickies number 4, where I show you something that I think is cool in 5 minutes or less. Today comes at the request from a patron asking about these harmonics. So hopefully you're already playing these sorts of things because they are very cool, but if you're not, I highly recommend that you practice them and get them comfortable because you can get some really awesome sounds out of these that you can't really get any other way on the guitar, at least. So the idea is really simple. All we're doing is we're playing 12 fret harmonics, which if you're not familiar with it, all you do is whatever note you're playing over here, let's say this A, you go up 12 frets from it, and then put your finger right on top of that metal bar of the fret. You don't press, you don't apply pressure, you just touch the top right above the fret, and then you pick it with another finger. So I'm touching the string with my pointer finger, picking it with my thumb, so it looks like this. You can kind of see my thumb down there. So I'm getting the string, just touching it, and then picking. And you get the harmonic, right? Like that. So it does help to have a little bit of a nail on your hand. You don't have to have, long nails like I do, but a little bit of nail does let that note kind of jump out a little bit better. And of course, certain pickup configurations can also affect the output of these harmonics, so you'll have to experiment with that a little bit. But that's the idea, and you can do that with anything you do over here. You just have to mime or mirror exactly what your left hand is doing. So if I played this chord, let's say just like a plain A chord, if I wanted to play harmonics of every note, I would have to follow the shape of the chord. So I can't just go down on one fret. I have to play this note, then I have to go down a string up 2 frets, because that's what the chord is. There's the first note, down a string up 2 frets for the next note. So notice as I'm moving through like that, I'm following the chord in my left hand. I can't just play random spots. I'm always playing an octave up. Now, of course, there are other harmonics you can experiment with that aren't always 12 frets, but the 12 fret one is always really easy to use because it's just literally the same thing you're already playing, and they're very loud and they sound good. So the next step to this technique is not just doing harmonics, but also playing normal strings. So we're going to go back and forth by playing a normal string with a finger. I'm going to use the ring finger, and then a harmonic with the technique that I just showed you. Pointer finger touching the string right above the fret, just touching it, not pressing, and then picking it with the thumb. So watch what happens when I alternate. I'm going to do ring finger and then harmonic, ring finger, harmonic, and they're always going to be 2 strings apart. So I'm going to start on the D string for the normal string. I'm just going to pick it normally, right, just wherever, and then the harmonic on that E string. Then the G string, then the harmonic on the A string, then the B string, normal, harmonic on the D string, high E string, normal, ring finger, harmonic on the G string. So watch this, back and forth. I'll sneak in a couple of extra ones on top. That's the technique that we're doing. It's always this back and forth. Now, that's a really typical one. You don't have to do that. You can do whatever patterns you want. Like, this is a kind of a mixture. It's not always just alternating. Like, that pattern is me playing a harmonic, then 2 open strings with my middle finger and ring finger. Like that. So you can do a lot of different patterns and experimenting with these things and get some really awesome sounds. But that's kind of the typical normal pattern that most people do that sound really good. So there's something else going on here. Notice when I play with this chord, it sounds good, but it sounds kind of thin. And the reason why is I have a lot of doubles as I'm moving through. For instance, when I play this D string with my ring finger and then play the harmonic right here, it's just the same exact note happening again because the chord has 2 A's. I just played 2 A's in a row, so you don't really get that kind of scale sound where all the notes are, you're playing all the notes of the scale, but they're all bleeding together. You don't really get that when you're only playing a chord with 3 notes, right? This is a plain A chord. There's only 3 notes in here. A, E, A, C sharp, E, A. There's 3 A's, 2 E's, and 1 C sharp, right? So you're not really getting that much variety of notes. So if you really want to get that super dense sound and really bring out this technique as much as you can, you need to play chord shapes or chord voicings that have a ton of different notes. So instead of playing A major like this, if I played this one, right, that's still an A major, but like a fancy, thick version. That's A, C sharp, F sharp, B, E, G sharp. That's every single string is a different note. That's like A major, 1, 3, 6, 2, 5, and then 7. So listen to what that sounds like. Again, I'm following it, the exact chord with this hand, right? right? That's way more rich sounding, way more full sounding because I'm playing a shape that has every single note as a different note. So a really simple one just to get you started with this technique is I would just straight up bar anywhere and then just add maybe the pinky or ring finger on the high E string up 2 frets, and you will be playing a chord with different notes on every string. So this would be more of like a minor voicing. Of course you can make it whatever you want in the right context, but I kind of look at it as a minor voicing. And the really easy way to look at it is whatever note your root is on, that low E string, that's what chord you're playing. So if this is A, this is like an A minor, very dense A minor sound. That would be like A's 1, 4, flat 7, flat 3, 5, and then 2. Again, all different notes. And you can experiment a little bit. You can play like, how about start on the top and come down? How about just only do a couple strings? Right, that's just me playing the top 4 strings, harmonic, normal note, harmonic, normal note. Right, just experimenting back and forth. How about I do like a little pull off or something like that? Right, what am I doing? Harmonic on the G string, picking the high E string with my ring finger, and then pulling off my pinky. And then doing the same thing, harmonic on the D string, right? Picking the B string with my ring finger, got my middle finger down over here, pick it, and then pull off. And you get this kind of sound. Super cool and not that difficult once you get the mechanics and the coordination down. It's not bad. Another example of this is the beginning of one of my tunes called Follow by Galia Social. It starts like this. Again, just a bar. There's nothing really crazy happening. It's a bar, and I'm just doing this pattern. Right, so it sounds like this. That's what it sounds like, but all the notes are being held together because I'm doing it like this. And the pattern is super simple. I'm holding the chord, I'm just walking through the harmonics, G string, D string, G string, B string, that's it. That's it. And then the ring finger is alternating every time. So harmonic, ring finger. And the ring finger is always on that high E string. And then later on I add another finger. Then I take it off. Then I do that pull-off thing that I just mentioned before. Right? And then I do a little hammer on down there. So you can get a lot of really cool sounds out of this. Just once you get that technique comfortable, it'll all start to kind of happen pretty naturally. But I would always focus on chord shapes that are dense, because that's where you can really hear all of those notes like half steps and whole steps apart really bleeding together. Thanks for watching. See you next time.